9:02, County Council will convene, will be led to the Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Smith.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Has the agenda been posted properly?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander?
Here.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Here.
Ms. Chambers? Present. Ms. Lassiter? Mr. Matchett?
Present.
Ms. Piper?
Here.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Here.
Mr. Hughes?
Here. Mrs. Lassiter is at the Indiana Association of Counties annual meeting representing us. Approval of the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of the minutes. For August 22nd, 2017. Oh, we did roll call. Yeah, I remember this time. Is there a motion to approve the minutes, August 22nd?
Move to approve.
Moved by Chris,
Second.
second by Jessica. Any comments? Denise, I apologize for not getting back on those, but I'm still having a little trouble bringing them up. I just don't, I'm trying to master it on my computer. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to the financial and transfer agendas. Are you doing that also, Donna?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to do first? Financial?
Financial, I've got that on top, yes, please.
Delaware County Emergency Medical Service, I believe has been withdrawn.
Yes.
All right,
You want an explanation?
do it now or do it when it comes up again?
Keep going.
Okay, since it's withdrawn, you know.
Delaware County Highway, 170 bituminous, 900,000, total request 900,000.
Move to approve. Second.
Who's Larry?
Yes.
Scott?
Scott, motion, I second.
I motion, Larry second.
Oh, excuse me, okay. This was given a favorable at Finance Committee. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Ineligible homestead, 361, software update, 16,500, total request 16,500.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Jessica. Questions, comments?
Steve's at the same meeting as James, but this was at the finance meeting.
Yeah, and you're representing him, right? This was given a favorable at Finance. Roll call?
Ms. Chambers? Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
EMS capital improvement, 441 portable radios, 15,000, total request 15,000.
Move to approve. Second. You can come up now,
Scott,
Jason.
seconded by
Yes.
Chris. Got it. Questions?
You might
They
just
want to
think-
explain to them
Yeah.
what you
So,
explained to Finance.
sure, we, We're on the 800 megahertz system, just like the sheriff and everybody else in public safety. The platforms of the radios that we have are about 10 or 15 years old, and they're starting to fail. They upgraded to an APX platform about 3 years ago, and we're starting to see that we can't get our old radios repaired. The sheriff's department's doing the same thing. This is 3 portable radios to replace 3 that we can't, that have fallen outside of their repairable, and they don't make parts for them anymore, their lifespan, so they're done. So instead of buying all new radios at one time, we're gonna start easing them into the fleet as we have failures. It's every time we send a radio, and this is us, the sheriff's department, highway, anybody that's using these Motorola platforms. Anytime we send them into the repair shop, it's a minimum $500 fee plus anything that they've got to do. So it just depends whether it's repairable in-house. We're doing about 90% of that now that we can, with Mr. Dunn being a huge help to us and the sheriff and I think everybody else that uses the platform. But it's going to be an expensive change. However, we're going to get another probably 15 or 20 years out of these, the new version of these radios.
How many will this total when you're done?
When we're done changing the fleet out,
All over, yeah, how many radios?
well, there's at least 45 at EMS. EMA is going to have about 30 or 40. The sheriff's department's going to have probably 100. I mean, we're talking about substantial.
What? I just wanted,
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I think over time, just like anything, the price will start to be driven down by new technology, but right now, I think we're paying about $5,000 a piece for the total package. 5 years ago, I think when these came out, they were about $7,000. So hopefully, the radios that we're replacing, if you go buy them new old stock today, they're about $2,500. So I don't know how much more it'll go down, but it will go down eventually.
so it's kind of cost averaging too by not buying them all at once.
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting a bulk discount, but we ran the numbers, and it's more economical to do it this way.
Okay, any questions from the council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
County Assessor, self-disclosure, 393 training, $170, total request $170.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Larry. Questions? Roll call?
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Gattacassett Donation Fund, 197 part-time, $15,312, 171 FICA, $1,171, total request $16,483.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
County General, major transfer, communication center to commissioners, 153, 371 FICA, plus 105,000. 124,367 telephone backup center, minus 105,000, total request 0.
Move to approve.
Second. Moved by Scott, second by Larry. As a form of explanation, I think I've hopefully touched base with each council member. For some unknown reason, we are very short in our FICA account, which covers just about every department under the county general funding. And there was 20,000, I believe, was the total. And the line item for backup for the new equipment for the backup center that's over in the jail for the communications backup, which wasn't going to happen this year. And I talked with the president of the county commissioners, Mr. King, and he was aware of this. So I worked with Mrs. Patterson and put this transfer in actually on behalf of the commissioners, but signatured by the president of the council. Any questions? Guess we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers? Yes. Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Frankie Bush?
Yes. That's it, right?
No. That is an agenda.
No,
Pardon?
it's a transfer.
Transfer of agenda.
Transfer agenda. Election board, 142, 211 office supplies, minus 4,000, 225 meals, minus 8,000, 313 contracts, minus 10,000.
I appreciate a motion as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Scott. Second?
Second.
Second by Jessica. The clerk is at the same meeting as several other people, I assume. You want to explain this, Donna, or you want me to? Actually, what he's doing is taking money that was in this year's budget that won't be used. It was put there in case there was a referendum by the school corporation. There was not, so they're actually kind of upgrading the voting machines, but in a sense, the way he explained it to me, the vendor will completely disassemble the voting machines, put all new software and equipment in the same carcass or the same body, and the screen will be similar but different, but everything else will look the same to the voter when they come to the polls. So it will be a major change, but it won't actually show like a major change. And he's paying half of that out of 2017 and half out of 2018 to kind of ease the pain, if you will. So, any questions? I think he's explained this earlier in the year. Maybe even last year. Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Chambers? Yes. Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Mr. Frankie Bush?
Yes.
County Commissioners, 171 FICA, plus 60,000, 343, ordinance comp, minus 60,000.
Move to approve. Second.
That's Scott, Larry,
Right.
now we're gonna get their rubber stamp. Okay, any questions on this? This was approved by the Finance Committee. This is just where they've been settling some workers' comp cases and ran short. Roll call, please.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Frankie Bush?
Yes. Just for the information of the public, I'm not sure I totally understand what our workers' comp is. Any experience I've ever had with workers' comp, I was always audited at the end of the year, and the insurance company told me what I owed based on gross salaries for that year. But the county somehow is somewhat self-insured. So when these cases are settled, they're paid by self. Okay, we're going to go now to emergency management.
These are all new hire transfers.
Okay, Do I have a motion to approve these new hire line changes?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Chris. Any questions? Roll call?
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Mattson?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Community corrections?
Does this carry over to the next page?
Yeah, Donna, do you want to,
What?
Donna, do you want to go ahead and approve, or go ahead and, I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion to approve community corrections, personnel services, and the second community corrections there. Both of those together.
Second.
Okay.
So that's on page 1 and page 2 titled Community Corrections, all items. That's your motion,
That's correct.
okay? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Chris?
Chris second.
Okay. This was explained pretty extensively at finance and was approved by finance. They even brought us in a little color chart to show us what all they did. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Mattson?
Yes.
Mr. Piper?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's cool.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Sorry, Jeff.
All right.
Board of Health, part-time minus 7,500, FICA minus $574.32, 211 supplies plus 2,142.32, advertising plus 5,932 for the request year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Scott, second by Mr. Piper.
Excuse me, Ron. I'm sorry.
Oh,
We had one little typo, I guess, I need to mention to you, Sharon.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's on a line item, financial secretary, it's
Talk louder,
137.
because I won't be able to pick that up.
Very
Yeah, you already.
It should be 132. Just want to make sure.
Which item, line item?
2501, 215, 137, financial
It's the
secretary.
very last line on page 1.
Called it
Yeah, Donna had already told
That
me.
should be 132.
instead of 087.
Instead of
No, it
137.
should be account 132
Oh,
instead of account 137. Very last page, the very last line on the first page. Oh, see that? The
So it'll
account
match
number.
the other.
Just for housekeeping.
Gotcha.
I've already got that changed on my copy from finance, because we discussed that in finance.
I think I do too. That's why I couldn't tell you. Okay,
Thank you all.
thanks.
Have a good day.
Sorry. Now, back to our motion on the floor for Health Department Community Immunization.
So moved.
Already got one.
Very good.
Alexander.
Yeah, we got it.
Good guy. You don't remember. Here we are.
Anybody in the Health Department here? Stand up so they can see you. Any questions? This was approved by Finance, and Jamie couldn't be here, so I suggested to be sure you have a representative, so after she take all the time to come over, I want to at least let her be recognized. You might step to the podium and tell them what you're doing here. Name and serial number and rank and all that.
In our immunization grant, we have an excess of salary. We have a part-time person that works that grant, and so the state would like us to utilize all of what they are allowing us to spend, and so since we're not going to be spending it in salary, we need to be able to buy supplies and advertise for vaccines.
And I do need your name for the record.
Stephanie Benton.
Okay, any questions of Stephanie? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchup?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. Don't forget to put your hands on your hips and look at Jamie and say, boy, what you got me into.
Casa?
Sorry, Casa.
One. It's a payroll transfer.
Need a motion, please.
Something to approve? Second?
I got Larry that time.
All right.
Scott, second. Since you're here, you want to say something? Like,
Morning. No, things are going good. We're, as promised, I'm really working on trying to find some other revenues. Now, that's not what this one is. This is just, we've got a new volunteer coordinator coming over. She's actually coming from DCS. And we're really excited to have her and her experience and knowledge come to our program. So we're really excited about the new change.
okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Okay, now go to your transfer addendum. EMS
Oh, I got my phone.
A144 minus $1,553.64. B144 plus $1,553.64. A144 minus $1,692.94. B177 plus $1,692.94.
Move to approve?
Second.
Scott, second by Jessica. We'll explain it now, Mr. Jason. Mr. Jason, Mr. Roger. Good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Roger.
Yeah.
What can I answer for you?
Well, I guess we need a motion to approve. We got that?
Yeah.
We just need you to explain the fact that you withdrew that other and what you did.
Originally, and that's what I was talking to Pam about, originally we've got some people that are transitioning from EMTs to paramedics, so their position will change. However, one of them was in an EMT position as a paramedic, one of them was in a paramedic position as an EMT. So when that got transferred, it left extra money in the paramedic line that was left there. So rather than going to the general fund and increasing this person as a paramedic, we actually had it in another line. And I'll have to credit Ron for finding that with Donna. Donna did it? Okay, well, so when we looked at it a little bit more closely, we did find that that was there, and Donna did find that. I did have Kathy go through and make sure that every other line that we had was not going to be short, and everything else was fine. So that was, essentially, it should have been moved 100% out of the first line to the second, but we only moved enough to cover the EMT rather than the paramedic. So it just created a little bit of a confusion when we actually had some people graduate to the paramedic programs they were in.
Seems like I have the unusual hidden skill, I guess you would say, of walking into the back room in the auditor's office and saying, is there any other way we can do this? And Donna will find a way to do it, and that's what happened here.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened, so.
And they are correct in the 18 judges. Because I have Kathy check them.
Okay, good deal.
So their line item's a little different, but Kathy's got notes and so does payroll
Cool.
to make sure
Cool.
it's right.
Essentially what happened is we had a paramedic that left, we had somebody that was going to paramedic school, so rather than hiring another paramedic and having to come back and boosting their payroll, we waited until they graduated paramedic school and gave them the paramedic position. Then we hired an EMT for that position, so we rode with an EMT for a while in a paramedic position.
But paid them the lower wage.
And paid him the lower wage, but when we did that transfer, we only transferred enough to pay him as an EMT. So that extra money sat out here that didn't have anything to do with this line. So a little bit of a shell game, but
Well,
Donna figured it out.
works, but that way we didn't have to appropriate new money,
Exactly.
new appropriation, additional appropriation. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. Okay, I'm ready for the famous motion.
Motion to approve financial transfers and to amend the salary ordinance with like reductions.
Second?
Scott, Jessica, second. Roll call.
Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. Before we move past that, when we were just discussing the fact that Donna checked the salaries for the 2018 budget, is Rick off today?
No, he's in meeting. He's talking
Oh,
about
he went to the conference? Okay, well,
Not a conference,
Oh.
contract negotiations. that y'all-
I thought he maybe went to the commissioners. Cool, anyway, you're paying, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are, but I'd just like to remind that you'd have that key list of all the salaries and such. Are you gonna coordinate and check that out with the new budget to make sure it's exactly the same? Any questions? Do it before October
Okay. I-
20-something.
on that one.
Okay, work that out with the auditor's office. Okay. Now, we have a committee reports, tax abatement. You want to report on that, Scott?
Yeah, I can. I think Brad's here and our abatements here. I think a few real minor changes that Brad and I talked about have come up, but tax abatement committee met and approved this for your approval, but we also have to approve the redevelopment area. Before we approve the tax abatement, is it my understanding we're going to present this today and approve it at next meeting?
Mr. Hughes?
We have the preliminary resolution to be approved today.
Okay.
Then notice will be published, you'll have a public hearing
There
at the
we
next
go.
meeting, and then at the same time, when you confirm this resolution, you'll approve the abatement.
Okay.
Actually, the abatement committee has already approved the abatement,
Right.
and after that approval, the applicant came forward and talked with Brad about they own more land than what they actually initially applied for, so they worked with Mr. Hughes and got all the paperwork together, and that's where we're at. We do have to declare the revitalization area before we can, by council, approve the tax abatement. The tax abatement by the committee is just a recommendation to the council, not a dyed in the wool.
Well, and my understanding from talking with Brad is that the abatement that was presented at the committee level has not changed, but the revitalization area was never a topic for the abatement committee, and that's what we're talking about today.
That is correct. You'll be declaring the economic revitalization area as the parcel of property upon which they want to build the new building on. So that's your step that you will approve today.
But the abatement itself is still just on the structure of the building
Yes.
that they're building and what
Correct.
we approved at abatement.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it. Mr. President, I'm happy to go through the abatement application. I believe that all of the members have a copy of that. If you'd like me to go through some of the highlights of that, I'll be happy to do so at this time.
I would say it's pretty well self-explanatory. Did all the council members get copies of this?
Yes,
Okay, because I know it's a little late coming. I'm one of these guys that's always harping about not getting things on a timely basis, and then this one was right up against the deadline for our meeting. But it was because of a few little hoops we had to jump through, but I would like to hear from our applicant, what we Brandon Buck.
Brandon Buck.
And,
So,
and tell the council just a little bit about what your building plan is for.
Like Mr. Quakenbush said, my name is Brandon Buck. The beginning of last year, myself and a partner started United Construction Services. We've currently been renting space and have quickly outgrown it. Thankfully, the work has been good. We've decided to build our own building. With that, we need a place to work on our equipment, have our office and clerical staff, and our mechanics. So we reached out to Brad, asked him for a little help with the abatement process, and that's where we're at today. We're looking to continue our success and grow on the past year of good business and get a new building built and continue to grow and prosper in Delaware County.
Appreciate it. This is part of the outreach program that the commissioners have initiated to try to reach out to local investors, maybe even other than a couple shell buildings, give them priority over someone we don't know,
absolutely.
and encourage new business. And the way I read this report, it's going to create some jobs, which will create payroll, which will create business for other like businesses, like where you buy your parts for your equipment to repair them, and where you eat your lunch and all that sort of thing. So there's a trickle down effect to this also, and it's only a 5-year abatement, so that's real positive also, that it kind of helps them.
If everybody wouldn't mind, I'd like to point out a couple interesting pieces of this abatement. Your second to the last page of the application. This is something that I started doing last year, is actually running an abatement analysis on what the estimated tax abatement savings over the life of the abatement will be. And again, this is the second to the last page. If you go all the way to the far right-hand column, you'll see their abatement, our estimated abatement savings.
I think that's the last page.
Is that the last page of yours?
Page 2.
The one that says page 2, it's kind of at the back of the package. Looks like this. $28,680 is the estimated abatement, total abatement savings over a 5-year period. It's a phased-in abatement, and starts out with 100% abatement the first year, then 80, 60, 40, 20 as it goes down. If you go 3 columns, I guess that's 4 columns to the left, you'll see the total $66,920. That's the estimated revenue, tax revenue to the county over a 10-year period for this structure. So, and you'll see above that where there is revenue coming into the county at the same time as the company is getting an abatement. So I think that's important to point out those numbers so you know exactly what you're really doing. United Construction Services, I believe the 4th page in is their estimated wage rates. Those range from around $22 an hour up to $35 an hour. So these are good paying jobs. These are union scale wage construction jobs. So we're happy about that. That's good news. And then on the I think the second page is your estimated total amount of jobs. I'm kind of bouncing around here. Estimating this will assist in retaining their 30 current employees and then adding an additional 12 to 15 new employees. They do pay 100% of their employees' health insurance, which is very good. They also do have a pension plan, which is 100%. They do pay for continuing education and training for safety, equipment training, OSHA training, etc. So,
What's that company? I might have you hire
good
me.
jobs here, Denise. So, yeah.
I need to find out more about this.
So people in construction trade, people in construction trades who are interested in employment, this is a good firm that we'd like to help out in the county. So. Local folks, they do work all over. You do work all over the state.
Basically, East Central Indiana.
So we want to continue to help them grow here. This is part of our business retention and expansion efforts of local businesses in the county. So
Plus, you said you had a contract at Ball State too, right?
We have several contracts at Ball State. We're the prime contractor on the Ketzelman Pure Energy Park revitalization project. We do several projects right here in Delaware County.
Okay.
total cost of their building is $889,741 for the record. So, appreciate your support on declaring the area in the resolution that your attorney has provided you. And the public hearing will be at your next meeting, and then a subsequent vote on the actual abatement itself. By the actions that you take today, Brandon wants to get started on the building before the weather gets too bad. He'd like to get the building, get the foundations dug, get the building up, try to get it dried in before weather sets in. So this is helping him. You literally have things scheduled ready to go tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He's just waiting on your blessing. So
A few dry days ahead.
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Meady.
One housekeeping matter in the application packet. Excuse me, there's a statement of benefits, but the information on the form is correct. However, they use the statement of benefits form for personal property. The applicant has submitted the same information but on the correct form for statement of benefits real estate improvements. And that'll be a part of the minutes. With respect to the real estate, as Ron and Brad both pointed out, there was some discussion of the exact parcel, and attached to the resolution is an actual survey of 12.85 acres. So that's the area that's being declared an economic revitalization area.
Well, I think we discovered that in some of the questions in the abatement hearing, as far as the first item that you covered there with the personal property. And we did clarify that in the abatement hearing that there was no personal property that was involved in it. It was only the improvements to the property, the land, everything there is not included in the abatement. It's just, and I guess what I liked about this project over some of the other ones that we've seen, this isn't a shell building. This is somebody that's going to build a building, use it, and put people to work in Delaware County, and that's our goal. We've changed things through the commissioners and Brad's company pretty significantly here in the last several years, and we're focusing on some of what's here. Not only that, but new jobs and benefits to Delaware County. So I appreciate what you're doing. Brad tells me he's not going to be able to be here for our next meeting, so if there's any questions or anything that you need to ask him right now, now's a good time, or if not, you may have to get those answered before the next meeting.
Any questions from the council? Okay, moving right along then, Mr. Hughes, we're doing what now? We're going to approve this resolution.
We entertain a motion to approve its resolution 2017-039.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Larry, second by Scott.
What was the number on that? 009?
039.
030.
039.
Question? Denise, you have a question?
Yeah, you have to sign a page. That's, I was just asking.
Oh, okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Thank you for coming up.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Next time.
Okay, that takes care of that. Have no appointments today. Guess we have no personnel, but Pam left. We have a proposed supplement to the agreement with our attorney for additional legal services, and that's for the process of creating this economic redevelopment area. Has everybody looked at that? Mr. Hughes, you have any comment?
I think it's my understanding in the past that you used outside counsel to do this. Ron asked me to work with Brad. The hourly rate quoted is the same hourly rate in my general contract. Ron also asked to put a cap in, which I did based on 20 hours. It's not going to be that much. It's going very smoothly. Brad's provided me with all the information, so the total on it will be half that or less.
Any questions, Mr. Hughes? Need a motion to approve the,
Is this supplement just for this specific project only, or will it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I have a motion to approve?
so moved.
Moved by Scott,
Second.
second by Jessica. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bledsoe?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers? Yes. Mr. Matchett?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Scott Linder?
Yes.
Mr. Quakenbush?
Yes. And the timeliness of that was kind of backward, but since those Bradley and Buck were here, I thought we probably ought to just recognize them first. Okay, so we're ready for ordinances. I don't know if we have any. Resolutions we just passed. Do we want to have any new business? Anyone from the audience? President's remarks. I had a kind of an epiphany last night at home, and I think God was talking to me. I worked hard yesterday on a project, and usually go to bed about 10:30, but I went to bed at 9, and at 11 o'clock, I was on the floor. Big scratch on the side of me where I hit the nightstand. I think God picked me up and was going to take me off. I was sleeping so sound he thought I was dead. He got me up in the air and realized I wasn't and dropped me. Wasn't my time. So now I got the big scar on it.
You sure Phyllis was with you?
Well, I told her that's what I was going to tell people, but she got mad about that. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're okay.
I was sound asleep. I mean, just dead asleep. I don't know what happened. That nightstand was not in a position where it should have got me. I almost had to fly to hit it. But I survived. I thought you'd all just love to hear that story.
I'm glad you did.
Okay, anybody else got any good stories? We're just flying right along here. Portal 10.
So is there any possibility that any of the rest of us employees at Delaware County will even get like a tiny bit of a pay increase for cost of living on, when you approve the budget in October? So we have, since I've been here since 2005, I've got one raise.
Well, Denise, I know a couple of ladies that'd be awful mad at us if we changed that budget now.
Well, I'm just asking.
And there's no
Does
money,
it-
there's no money there for it, no. Unless we had another epiphany someplace. I don't see where there's any funding for it. Sorry. Emily, I'd like to talk to you before you head back.
Why is it always me?
It's positive. It's positive. Okay.
Could a consideration be, since you can't give us any more money and we haven't had raises for all that time, that we could get a couple extra days in vacation?
Oh, I don't think we do that, Commissioner.
I do want to share one thing with you.
Okay.
You know, we talked about cost of the day, and you guys approved that additional money for her donation, and she's continually working on trying to get funding for her program because we all know how they're drowning out there. You guys approved last year for that dog. Do you remember Frankie? She told me a story, and I wanted to share it with you because it really touched me.
So the dog is kind of our liaison for all the children that they can't get to. They have 429 families still in not having a CASA appointed. 429 kids that have nobody standing with them in court and getting questioned when things happen. They don't have a person with them representing them. So this dog steps in and becomes their person. So they had a little girl who they had to tell that her mom had OD'd and passed away, and she didn't have a CASA worker. So they brought Frankie in, and Frankie laid her head on her lap, and they had to tell this little girl that her mom, which was not going to be in her life anymore, but the girl's old enough to know that her mom's passed away and that she OD'd. And Frankie was there, and she just laid her head on Frankie and cried and cried and cried. And she looked up and she said, "Can Frankie go to the funeral with me?" And they had to explain to this little girl that Mommy don't have money for a funeral. And so Frankie and Ashley went with her to the morgue and stood with her and said a prayer. So this dog that was kind of controversial, I just want you guys to know, this dog is in the community. It's helping these children. It's in the courtroom every day, and these children are, it's like their anchor. It's the only thing they have to hold on to when things like this happen to them. So I wanted to share that story because I was overwhelmed. This little girl had to go through something, and the only thing she had to hold on to was this dog. And I think it helped her. I don't know anything more than that. I just wanted to share that. But I don't know if you guys have heard any stories about what Frankie's been doing. She's still snoring in the courtroom, and they all get a kick out of that. They have kids that get angry. You know, they're going through things, and Frankie calms them down. I just kind of wanted to update what I know. I really wish you talked to Ashley. She probably has tons of stories. But that was told me this week, and it really touched me. And I want you guys to know that thank you for approving that. I think all CASA organizations are going through this struggle with trying to represent these children. And I think what third in the state to have this dog, and I think it's really made a difference out there. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay.
Thank you, Emily. Anyone else? I'm awful busy here signing my name. Well, I guess we are adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
Motion? Yeah. So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.